Hi, everyone. I'm Sarah Larson from the Multiplicity Lab Group at Northwestern University. Today, we're going to explore one type of look, think, talk activity where the question you ask of students is, what patterns do you see? As a quick reminder, in look, think, talk activities, you first show students an intriguing mathematical image and give them time to look. This can be done on a shared screen, or you can print copies for students. Then you pose a central mathematical question and give students time to think. If students have printed copies, you can invite them to annotate as they think. Students can also use manipulatives as an entry point into the task. Finally, ask students to talk about the question with one another and as a whole group. The goal of these discussions is to elicit and encourage multiple ideas, strategies, connections, ways of seeing and thinking, all while making room for multiple voices. The question, what patterns do you see, is centrally about the big idea of seeing and creating patterns. The images we use contain many, many patterns, opening up a multiplicity of ways to see, decompose, and describe patterns. Seeing patterns often involves the mathematical practices of attending to and using structure and seeing math in the real world. Let's look at two examples and consider where they could take you. What patterns do you see? If you ask students this question, they'll need time to study the image, test some ideas, and perhaps pose some questions. Students might notice that the numbers on these diagonals are the same. This could naturally raise the question of what dominoes could go to the left or right of the set. Students might again notice that the sums of the top and bottom of each dice count up 7, 8, 9, and then return to 7, again raising the question of what could come next. Students might notice that adjacent numbers on the top have a difference of 3, but that pattern isn't true on the bottom. Why? Notice that patterns can be complex, move in different directions, and most importantly, provoke new mathematical questions. If all of this is possible with 4 dominoes, consider what could happen in the real world. In this image of the Brooklyn Bridge, the patterns are spatial rather than numeric. What patterns do you see? Students might focus on the symmetry of this image as a pattern, whether or not they know that word to describe what they're seeing. They might focus on patterns in the brickwork, like the way in the green box there is a tower and then a setback repeating, or in the red box, the way that the towers alternate with the pointed archways. Students might also focus their attention on the quadrilaterals formed by the cables on the sides. Our perspectives makes those quadrilaterals stretch as they come closer to us and compress as they move further away. This is not a sequence pattern like an AB or AAB pattern, but a structure that creates systematic and predictable changes. Students might wonder, what would this look like from the side? Or how would the patterns change if you were looking down from above? These are just two examples of how looking for patterns can open up big ideas and rich conversation with your students. We have dozens of what patterns do you see activities at Multiplicity Lab. To find these, begin looking at the Look, Think, Talk tab. You can use our filter to select the question, what patterns do you see? And if you'd like to narrow your search, you can select a grade level or material, like coins, dominoes, or real-world images to match your goals. Try a what patterns do you see activity with your students tomorrow.